These are 5 short, yet terrifying micropastas. The link to the original stories will be in the description. If you enjoy, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video. You remember the feeling, don't you? The feeling that you're being watched, that if you make the slightest movement, you're dead. Everybody had that fear as a child. You wake up in the night, can't get back to sleep, shuffling back and forth from one uncomfortable position to the next, hoping to find a way to sudden slumber. You give up. There's no way you're going back to sleep anytime soon, so you simply turn to your side and stare at the window. The road, the lights, the trees, all seem so strange under the cover of night. You try to keep your mind quiet of any distractions, remembering that you still need to sleep. And that's when the feeling hits you. The feeling swarms over you like an ice-cold blanket that has just been spread across your back. You remember that it is night. And that night is when fear likes to hunt. You feel as if you're being watched from behind you. You can't see it, but its eyes are trained on you. You want to move, but you can't. If you do, something bad, no, something horribly wrong is going to happen to you. The only thing you can do is remain quiet and still, and then it won't notice you. As you lie on your bed, frozen in fear, you begin to think about your bed sheets. If only you could quickly grab your bed sheets and throw them over yourself to hide your body from whatever evil monstrosity stands behind you. It could be done, perhaps. If you're fast and precise, you could succeed. You decide to think no longer. You flip yourself up and grab your bed sheets with both hands. Without looking around the room, you swipe back down, covering yourself with a thick blanket of safety. It is then your mind comes back to you, and you remind yourself that there's nothing there. Darkness clouds the mind, and it causes it to hallucinate, with the only limitations being your imagination. You slowly poke your head out of the bed sheets, and you scan your eyes around the room. Nothing. You place your head back on the pillow, and slowly drift off to sleep. This is every child's fear, and the parents always tell their children to go back to sleep, and that is good for them to work through their fears. They are wrong, because what they don't know is that when their children hide under their bed sheets, the real fear is not what is standing over them, but what is staring at them from under the covers.
The rainy season began early in summer, and June had been no exception. It did not surprise the man when he discovered rainwater dripping from his dining room ceiling. Shrugging it off, he placed a tall pot beneath the leak and expected it to stop on its own. However, it continued to rain, and before he knew it, the pot would threaten to overflow. He had to dump the water out first thing in the morning, and straight after he returned home from work. Eventually, he began to notice water damage at the source of the leak. The white ceiling had discolored, turning a dull shade of brown. He checked the water and realized that it would continue to rain sporadically over the next 10 days. The man was worried about the ceiling mildewing and becoming an expensive repair, so he called a local handyman. Unfortunately, the man could not sign to have the repairs done. Only his landlord could. This was a frustrating policy. The man called his landlord, but could not reach him. He left him a few voicemails, detailing how the damage was becoming progressively worse. The man was clueless to why his landlord would not return his calls. They usually kept in touch, speaking at least twice a month. Finally, he reasoned that he would not be held accountable for any damages sustained. One night, the man was startled awake by a massive thump. He quickly turned on his bedside lamp, and just vaguely, he could see an overturned table and a large shape laying across it. He sprinted out of his apartment and called the police, gagging at the smell. The man sat in the police station with a blanket wrapped around his shoulders and a coffee mug resting in his hands. He did know one thing. There had been a dead body in his ceiling, and the water had saturated it so badly that it caved under the weight. So far, the body was unidentifiable due to the rainwater and was being autopsied. While the man waited, he called his landlord and finally reached him, panicking as he explained the situation. His landlord was just as alarmed, and the man pleaded for him to come to the station while he made a statement. The man paused as a detective crossed over to him, and he lowered his phone, wondering if the body had been identified. His blood ran immediately cold, and he shook his head with terror. The body belonged to Richard Thompson, his landlord, and he had died over a year ago. That's not what disturbed him the most. If his landlord was dead, then who was pretending to be him?
James arrived home late at night. He unlocked his front door and stepped into the darkness of his apartment. "Hey honey, I got that early flight home. I'm in the bedroom. There's been a power cut." James was surprised but happy to hear his girlfriend's voice. She had been away for a few days on a business trip. "Okay, I'll be right there." He stumbled through the darkness and into the bedroom. He carefully made his way over to the bed before sitting down. "Jesus, you're freezing," he shuddered as he felt her cold skin against him. "I know, the heating's been off for hours. Come on, baby, get in bed and help me warm up," she said, attempting to put on a cute voice. James got undressed and placed his phone on the bedside table before climbing into the bed. He removed his glasses and moved closer to Abigail. He was startled for a moment when his phone began to ring. He picked it up and looked at it, but didn't recognize the number. He brought it up to his ear and answered. "Hello?" "Hey honey, it's me. I'm still at the airport. I couldn't get the flight, but I'll be able to get one soon. I'll probably be home by the morning." "Hello? James?" He felt an icy hand grip his shoulder.
Here I lay, all snuggled up in bed, warm and satisfied under the soft silk covers, watching some stupid documentary on TV I'd never heard of. I turned it off, but the gallon tub of cookie dough ice cream wouldn't let me use my hands for anything other than shoveling the frozen treat into my mouth. Nights like these are rare. It isn't often that everyone's out of the house but me, so I make sure to savor them. In fact, I wasn't expecting anyone back until morning. That's what made the sound of the door opening downstairs so alarming. Panic hits me like a steam train. I silently leap out from under the covers, spilling the ice cream all over the pristine white carpet floor. And I creak open the wardrobe next to the bed. I hear heavy footsteps, indiscreet, like they want me to know they're there. I pant and pick up the spoon I had just been using to enjoy a relaxing night. The footsteps get louder. I force myself into the minuscule space remaining in the wardrobe and close the door, just as the stranger opens up the bedroom door, not sparing any second for silence. I peer through the gap. His face looks familiar, but I can't place my finger on where I know him from. He spots the spilled ice cream and darts his head across the wide expanse of the bedroom. "Hello?" he calls. Not sounding vicious, but I've made that mistake before. Never, under any circumstances, assume friendliness from a voice. He looks under the bed. Oh crap, he's looking for someone. I hold back a whimper and start bending the bowl of the spoon back and forth, hoping to snap it off and create some way of defending myself. It snaps, but it creates a metallic click. The man turns his head around and makes his way for the wardrobe. I'm shaking now. Please, don't open it. Please, don't open it. Please, don't open it. The door swings open and he sees me. We scream simultaneously in fear and surprise. Without hesitation, I leap onto the man and start digging whatever stretch of flesh I can with the sharp edge of the spoon handle. He screeches in clear pain, but I won't stop. I hammer the handle deep into his chest and neck, over and over till he becomes motionless. I've killed him. I cry in disgust and sprint downstairs and away from the house. I charge down the road until I feel like I'm far enough away. I sit down for a moment and exhale heavily before regaining my composure. Pulling out my phone, I open Twitter and search #party. Hopefully this time, I'll find a household that isn't lying when they say they'll be out all night.
I walked into the bed and breakfast as tired as ever. First, I entered the bathroom and turned on the light and washed up. I was too exhausted to turn on the rest of the lights in my room, so it was a little dark. My bag was thrown under what appeared to be a full-length mirror. There was not enough light to make out all of my features, but I can make out the basic shape of my body in the reflection. It's not like it mattered. I was going to bed anyways, and I didn't need to check myself out. I could see my reflection out of the corner of my eye, following me around the room as it should. As soon as my head hit the pillow, I was out. A few hours later, I was feeling a bit chilly. I felt a breeze in my face. I thought that someone must have left the window open. When I got up and scoured the walls for a window, all I found was sheetrock covered in tacky wallpaper. To get a better view, I walked over by my bag and turned on the light switch. When I looked toward my bag to get a jacket, I found the source of the breeze. There was no mirror. It was a window, and it was open. Whatever was on the other side of that window was now in my room. I heard a noise coming from the bathroom. I found myself wishing I had turned on the lights sooner.